Hello children, welcome to our English Time radio program brought to you by Rwanda Education Board in partnership with World Vision Rwanda. My name is Teacher Anna and I'm going to be your teacher of today's lesson in Primary 5. Remember to wash your hands with clean water and soap or sanitize your hands to prevent the spread of coronavirus. Dear parents, guardians, and elder siblings, I kindly urge you to help the children get ready for today's lesson. Get close to your radios, tune on a higher volume so that you're able to hear me very well. Are you ready, children? Good. Now, today's lesson, we are going to talk about describing wildlife in Rwanda. We are going to talk about describing wildlife in Rwanda. But before we do that, can we remind ourselves about the previous lesson? Who remembers what we looked at in the previous lesson? Children, in our previous lesson, we talked about the uses of physical features and we looked at vocabulary that we use to describe the uses of physical features. For example, we said lakes and rivers influence the formation of rainfall, and we looked at the meaning of the word to influence. The uses of physical features, therefore, are lakes and rivers are water resources, and this is very important for people and animals. We also looked at volcanoes, hills, and parks are habitats for animals. And we said the word habitat means home. So volcanoes, hills, and parks are homes for animals. We also went ahead and said our lovely country Rwanda attracts tourists because of its beautiful physical features. Do you all now remember all that we looked at? Good. Now, today, let us describe the wildlife in Rwanda. Before we do that, stand up and listen to the music as you stretch yourself and get ready to learn. Let us sing a song. I'm going to sing it once. Listen carefully. The second time we sing it together. The song goes, 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice, see how they run, see how they run. They all ran after the farmer's wife who cut their tails with a carving knife. Have you ever seen such a thing in your life as 3 blind mice? Now let us sing together. 1, 2, 3. 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice, see how they run, see how they run. They all ran after the farmer's wife who cut their tails with a carving knife. Have you ever seen such a thing in your life as 3 blind mice? Well done. Let us sit down and continue with our lesson. I'm going to recite a poem. Listen carefully. And this poem is going to help us in answering the questions later on. Are we ready? Good. My poem is about wildlife. Wildlife, wildlife, wildlife. A life in the wild, with animals and birds in the wild, beautiful trees and flowers, big and small, all in the wild, all good for tourists. Wildlife is good for our country. All together, let us protect wildlife. Let us protect our environment. One more time. Wildlife, wildlife, wildlife. A life in the wild, with animals and birds in the wild, beautiful trees and flowers, big and small, all in the wild, all good for tourists. Wildlife is good for our country. All together, let us protect wildlife. Let us protect our environment. Good. Now, children, we have talked about the poem Wildlife, Wildlife, Wildlife. What do we understand by the word wildlife? Can we spell it first of all? Wildlife. Wildlife. W-I-L-D-L-I-F-E. Wildlife. Wildlife means wild animals. Wildlife means the native fauna and sometimes flora of a region. The native fauna and sometimes flora of the region. Or wildlife may mean undomesticated animal species. Undomesticated animal species. The animals that are not kept at home. Are we together, children? When we say fauna and flora, let us listen to this story and we shall understand what teacher means by fauna and flora. Now, children, have you ever been to Akagera National Park, Nyungwe Forest, or Virunga National Park, where there are different wild animals and rare plants? Rwanda has many different types of flora and fauna. Flora, F-L-O-R-A. This means plant life. Flora means plant life in a region. And fauna means animals in a region. Just go on a tour in one of the national parks and forests. You will see that there are rare flowers and trees like eucalyptus, bamboo, acacia, water lily, among others. And that we call it flora. There are also many animals like mountain gorillas, antelopes, different bird species, buffaloes, zebras, giraffes, hippopotamuses, elephants, warthogs, lions, and so many that I've not mentioned. That is generally Rwanda's wildlife. Children, can you tell your parents or someone next to you about wildlife in your district?
Come along and play with us.
Good. Now let us get ready to learn about flora and fauna in Rwanda. What are the names of some flowers and plants that are found in Rwanda? What are the names of some flowers and plants that are found in Rwanda? That's right. I mentioned them earlier. We have plants like eucalyptus, bamboo, we have water lilies, and so many and so forth. What are the names of some of animals that are found in Rwanda? Some of the animals that we find in Rwanda are, we have elephants, we have lions, we have giraffes, we have snakes, we have mountain gorillas, and so many and so forth. Good. Now, children, I want to thank you for suggesting some suitable answers that of the questions I asked earlier. Let us now look at some different flowers and plants that we find in our country of Rwanda. Right, we have flowers and trees. Number 1, we talked about eucalyptus. We talked about eucalyptus. Right, that is a plant. It is a tree. Do we know how to spell the word eucalyptus? I need you to get your book and write it down. Eucalyptus. E-U-C-A-L-Y-P-T-U-S. Eucalyptus. Good. Another plant or another tree is bamboo. Bamboo. B-A-M-B-O-O. Bamboo. Another one, we have a tree called acacia. A-C-A-C-I-A. Acacia. Then we have flowers. One of them is water lily. Water lily. Can we spell the word water lily? Water lily. Water. W-A-T-E-R. Water. Then lily. L-I-L-Y. Lily. These are some of the plants that we find in Rwanda. In our wildlife, we also talked about animals. There are animals that we find in our country, Rwanda. We talked about the parks where these animals are found. Some of the animals are mountain gorillas, buffaloes, zebras, elephants, giraffes, hippopotamuses. We have lions, crocodiles, and snakes. Now, children, can we spell the word buffalo? B-U-F-F-A-L-O-E. Buffalo. So we can go on and spell other words like zebra, elephant, giraffe, hippopotamus, lion, and crocodile. That's right. Can we do the spelling of crocodile? C-L-O-C-O-D-I-L-E. Crocodile. Can you spell the word giraffe? Yes, I know you can. Let me give you some seconds to try it out.
Come along and play with us.
Good. The word giraffe is spelled as G-I-R-A-F-F-E. Giraffe. Did you get it? Wonderful. Now, children, there are a lot of animals in our national parks and forests. Can you add some names of animals that we have in our country that we have not talked about? Good. Now, it is time to show our parents and tell them that you are able to write something about our wildlife. Can you do that?
Come along and play with us.
Good. So we are going to get our books and write down a paragraph. A paragraph is a short sentences that we are going to use to write about our country, Rwanda's wildlife. Are you ready, children? Don't worry, I'm here to guide you. Let us begin. You are going to work on your own, and after that we shall show our parents, and they will be happy to see how much we can write about our environment. For example, you can begin, Rwanda is a country in Africa, and write 2 sentences about Rwanda's physical features, or Rwanda's wildlife, or Rwanda's weather. Are we together, children? Then you can also write about another 2 sentences about different plants and animals you find in Rwanda. Write a sentence or 2 about some of the activities you could do in Rwanda. For example, you can do mountain climbing, fishing, canoeing, and so on. Then end your paragraph by completing this sentence. You can say, Rwanda is ... Check your spellings, check your punctuation marks, and make sure your sentences make sense. Now, get a new page and begin your paragraph writing. Write neatly. If possible, you can even draw a picture to go with your paragraph. Are you ready, children? Good.
Come along and play with us.
Now that you have written a short paragraph about our country's environment, let us read it to our parents. Let us read it to our parents. Those of us whose parents are at home, you can read to them. And those of us whose parents have gone to work, you will read to them when they return. Is that okay, children? Good.
Come along and play with us.
Thank you for being with me. Today we talked about wildlife, and we said wildlife means undomesticated animal species. We talked about different kind of plants and animals that are not kept at home. That is our wildlife. We mentioned about some different kinds of plants that we find in Rwanda and some animals that we keep in our national parks of Rwanda. Now, children, I urge you to read through your notes, revise, and see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, 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 teacher. Goodbye, children. See